All right, we are ready to rumble.
7 sleeps till Santa.
Woo! I love Santa. Santa's real.
Mm-hmm. Is he single?
I don't know if Mrs. Claus is down for a threesome. And if she is, I'm sure one of the elves got dibs.
Not to mention, he looks a little bit like Bruce Mcarthur, the Canadian serial killer, who I'm reading a book about right now. Oh, you would love this book. I got to lend it to you. It's called Missing from the Village, and it's just crazy how he stalked these guys and kidnapped them. It's terrifying.
I'm also makeup free today, so that's because fuck the patriarchy. No, just joking, because I was lazy.
Oh, you could have just said because it's Christmas holidays and that's why you're wearing pajamas too.
My hair won't fall right, so it's just I'm not having a good face day. So let's get into this letter before I get angry.
Okay, this is why we're a podcast, just in case anyone was wondering. Yeah. Audio entertainment.
I felt like I needed to apologize for my face, and I should never feel that way.
Oh my God, Jenna, you are beautiful.
All right, so this one, the subject is I found my sister-in-law on OF. Now, I definitely had to Google what the fuck OF was, and it's OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Okay.
Come on, what are you, new?
Yeah, apparently I can't keep up with the cool kids anymore. It says, hey guys, I never thought I'd get the chance to write to you, but 2020 has been a weird one, and oh, has it ever.
Or should that say, I never thought I'd have to write to you, right? Because I don't know if it's an honor.
My former sister-in-law is currently with this loser of a guy. He's broke, doesn't have a job, and makes her pay for everything. I can tell it's really hard on her working a minimum wage job while trying to support their child and her and the lame-ass boyfriend. About 2 weeks ago, I was playing around with my friend's TikTok. At first, I was like, playing around with your friends? What? As they put in brackets, I don't have an account. And I looked up her name. When I found my sister-in-law's account, I expected cute videos of her kid, but I was totally wrong. It linked to her OnlyFans page. I wasn't brave enough to look any further, but I can't help but feel like this isn't because she wants to do it, but because she's so hard up for cash. I don't judge people for their lifestyle choices, but I also don't think anyone should be forced into doing something that makes them uncomfortable. Should I ask her about it? If she needs financial help, I'm willing to do what I can. If this is something she wants to do, I don't want her to feel like I'm judging her for it. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. What would you guys do? Thanks for my weekly laughs. Your podcast is great. TT.
TT. Wow. Yeah, maybe you should join her. You make more money.
Like, no shit. Just
like
show
the cop destroyers. Yeah. You know, before I can weigh in on this, I really wish I knew how much like the most successful people on OnlyFans make. Like not like the celebrities that go on, but just like a regular person. Do you really make that much? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it's a great extra cash flow. Like, I don't know how much you make. That's besides the point. It's just she's with this sketchy guy and she's supporting them while he's doing nothing. And then all of a sudden she ends up on OnlyFans. I understand where our TT's concern is coming from. Is she being forced to do this?
Yeah. You know, if I was the girl that's on OnlyFans, the silver lining is, yeah, maybe this is naughty, but in the back of her mind, she could meet another guy that maybe is rich and better than the deadbeat. So it's like serving two purposes, extra money, and, you know, you're putting yourself out there for new men.
Right. But like to me, and I think this is just as a woman, your instinct tells you like red lights are flashing everywhere. Like, is he controlling her OnlyFans? Is she controlling it? Is she doing it? You know, and this person didn't go and check it out. So it's hard to tell where someone's at if you can't see them in action. So my advice to our listener would be, I think you should check out the page because you should be able to tell if she wants to be doing it and is into it or if it looks like she's being forced.
Yeah, and I mean, OnlyFans, come on, it's like saying you're on Grindr looking for friends. Like, come on, we all know what it's for. There's other subscription services, Twitch, you know, even YouTube, where you can have people pay for exclusive content that isn't sexual. So,
but you know, there's a lot of people right now, and I'm not hating on sex work by all. It's another industry, and people make a lot of money, and it's a real industry, in my opinion, that needs a lot more protection. But sometimes when people are in desperate situations like this year, I mean, working a minimum wage job and trying to raise two children, your actual child, and then the man-child that helped you create the child, You could be, feel like you're got yourself pinned in a corner and you have to do desperate things, and that's why when people do lead to go stripping due to those conditions, they do it for all the wrong reasons. Like, you should be doing, if you're going to get into the sex industry, you should be doing that because that's something you want to do.
Yeah, there is an element of desperation, eh? Like, I always joke about myself joining OnlyFans or getting into porn. I'm too old now, probably, but I would be doing it out of desperation because the Hallmark movies won't cast me. So that's
so you're just, no, yours isn't desperation for money. Yours is desperation for attention.
Either way, both. I need both. I need both. And so while you could maybe be a porn star or a sex worker and thoroughly enjoy it, the beginnings maybe are from a place of desperation.
If you found out that I had an OnlyFans and I hadn't told you, would you say something to me?
I would be there going, "You're doing amazing, sweetie," with the camera. I would be.
But there would be a reason I didn't tell you. And that wouldn't make you wonder why I didn't tell you?
Well, you can't use us as an example because you wouldn't want me going on and looking at your vagina because I would.
Not everyone's showing vag on OnlyFans, right? Like I said, look.
Yeah.
I just got us $500. Ew, my feet are dirty. That was gross. We are definitely blurring that out.
Sorry, I had to catch my breath after that sight. Side note, a friend of mine had to go to a clinic today to have stitches removed. He had his recent surgery, and in the next room, he heard like a loud snipping sound. And the doctor said, "Did you hear that?" And he was like, "Yeah, what was that?" And she goes, "There's a senior here getting their toenails clipped because they get so thick, they have to come in for a special thing." I'm like, first of all, doctors shouldn't be telling that. Like, I was like, gross.
Yeah. So back to
when you lifted up your talons there, that's what made me think of.
Right. But like, I don't know, because again, what if you said something and she felt like you were judging her? Like, yeah, I have an OnlyFans. Like, why did I need to tell you? Like, it's just like any other profession.
Yeah.
Like,
it's that thing, like when you are even nervous to tell your girlfriend that her boyfriend's cheating because she could be like, "Yeah, we have an open relationship, bitch."
Right.
It's like you don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
If they're really good friends, I'm trying to think of a girl we both know, or even like some of your girlfriends you talk about all the time. They're not like that. So if they all of a sudden had an OnlyFans, that would be kind of like, what?
It would raise some red flags. So it sounds like they're close. That's her former sister-in-law. So she was part of her family. And it sounds like they still talk. So if they're still talking, even though they're former in-laws, then, it's enough to make our listener go, should I say something? Is she in trouble? Like, blink twice if you need me to bail you out, I
mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I don't see the friend on OnlyFans turning on her and being like, "I hate you not anymore." She'll be like, "Bitch, yeah, I am," or she'll blame herself.
Right? You could be saving her from an abusive relationship for all you know. I don't want to take this dark turn on it, but she could be like almost forced into sex work. Like if this guy is like not willing to work his own job, not willing to pull his weight, and now she's on OnlyFans while working her job, her minimum wage job, he could very well be forcing her into it. And for all you know, like the money couldn't even be going to her. It could be going right into his bank account.
That's a scary thought. Yeah. Like,
right. But that's like a woman's instinct. And I don't know if the other women listening to this right now feel the same way about this letter, but it really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. It's just, I wish she creeped the account, because there are a lot of accounts that they're all kind of sexual, but like there's one very popular one. I think of a woman who's tatted and very sexy, just cooks, and all she's wearing is an apron. So she's technically naked except for the apron, but it's not porn or anything. And she makes all kinds of money on OnlyFans doing this. So it doesn't have to be porn, but I feel like there's always some kind of sexual undertone.
But I mean, that's just the world, right? There's sexual undertone in everything we do.
Yeah, this V is not deep enough.
Sex sells. Woo!
You lifted them all the way up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Forget OnlyFans.
Yeah, ours is free. We're not getting paid for it. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. You know what? At first I was like, maybe just let it lay. You don't want to embarrass her or whatever. Or like, maybe hint it. Or ask her like, "Hey, do you need any help these days? I know Christmas is around the corner. Like, I got a Christmas bonus," lie. And just be like, I got some extra cash. Like, do you need anything? Like, I know you've been working really hard lately, and see what she says.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a wholesome approach. Or you could reverse psychology it and be like, hey, Susie, I'm thinking of joining OnlyFans for some extra cash, and see if she cops it up. Because that'd be a good way to test how she feels about it. If she denies it totally, then you know that it's a sensitive area. But if she's like, girl, you got it.
She would know right away if you're like all of a sudden out of the blue, like, hey, thinking about an OnlyFans page, and be like, you know, I have one, don't you?
But then there you go. Then she would admit it herself.
Yeah. A part of me really wants you to say something too, just in case she is in any sort of situation she doesn't need to be in.
God, I don't like that thought.
No.
But yeah.
God, those are the kind of things that you think of when you're a woman, right?
Yeah. Well, how many people out there are like, you know, in trouble? Oh, what was the movie I just watched?
Or it reminds, do you remember that song? What would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bathroom because he's hungry and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man? That song hits a lot harder now than it did back then. Like back in the day, we were like, and his dad is gone. And now I'm like, oh my God, this poor woman is forced to sell her body so she can feed her child. It's like
the shit we would listen to at our school dances. From the window to the wall.
That's a stretch up down my skeet.
There's a new movie on Netflix that I don't know how new it is, but I just discovered it, called Traffic, spelled with a K. And it sort of hints on this stuff you're talking about women being forced to do things and human trafficking.
Right.
Really good movie. You would love it. Watch it. Traffic. But it's a dark world out there.
Well, and that's why I'm like, is this like a Jeffrey Epstein situation? Like, right. You know, there is a lot, actually, speaking of which, and I know this is taking like a really dark turn, which we don't really talk about, but one of my former coaches that I was coached since I was like 8 until an adult is now being charged with like 6 counts of sexual deviancy of some sort from past players. So you just like never know these situations, right? Like, so I looked at this and tried to think back if I was ever made uncomfortable by him, and no. My best friend, Jillian, who also grew up, and she actually trained with him for a bit longer as an adult. I asked her right away, and she said no. But, you know, sometimes it's in these situations that you just don't expect it to happen. So it's always kind of good to be not only aware for yourself, but to be aware for others.
Do you know what sexual deviancy means?
I just used that word because his was like for a bunch of different sexual deviancy crimes, you know.
Bob
Berarda, if anyone wants to look him up. Bob Berarda was a national Team Canada coach, Whitecaps coach, all that.
That is just...
Yeah.
It's like we have one of our listeners, a loyal listener that comments on all our stuff. Shout out John Brown. Hi. He says everybody wants to sleep with other people when you're married and stuff, but being a decent person is what stops you from doing that. And it's similar to this. Like if I was a coach of a football team in college, I'm probably going to think the players are hot too, even though I'm an old man now, but I'm not going to act on it necessarily.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the difference.
Yeah. So these, like, you know, sexual predators don't wear a special costume that you can pick out. They don't. And it can come from a person that you trust and love. So if this woman is in that situation where she feels trapped because this is the father of her child, you know, then you want to know that as a friend and a family member. So maybe the best thing is to mention something to her and then gauge her reaction. Just be like, hey, like I downloaded TikTok the other day and I came across your page. Like, I noticed you have an OnlyFans. Like, what are you doing on there? Like, just inquire, don't judge, you know? Like, what are you doing on there? Like, I've heard of a lot of people opening it. It doesn't sound like a bad idea, you know? And see how she feels. Because if she's uncomfortable about it and not confident in the fact that she has a page, then she probably doesn't want to be doing it. If you're ashamed.
Right. But also, how ashamed is she if she's advertising it on free public TikTok? So she can't be that choked when the friend finds it.
Right. But that's the thing. It's like she might not even be operating those accounts. You don't know.
Oh my God, she's got chills. You should be a criminal investigator. See, you don't even think about these things sometimes. Well, you do, obviously.
But it just worked. Like I said, like I just got a really bad gut instinct. And remember when we did that shit with the mentalist James White? He said, always follow your gut. And I got a bad instinct. You obviously have a bad enough feeling about this that you wrote to us. So maybe it is good for you to inquire just to be safe. And if she gets mad or is embarrassed or something like that, then so be it. But I think you'll rest easy. Excuse me, I burp. You'll rest easier at night.
What's up with us? I'm like silently burping and coughing this whole episode too. We're gassy. Gassy. But you know, you bring up a good point. Let's say, God forbid, something did happen to the OnlyFans friend or she went missing, extreme. But you would always feel bad that you never said anything if you never knew.
Yeah.
So,
you know, and I don't know what your relationship is like, but my best friends know me well enough and they know that everything I do comes from the heart, that, you know, yeah, they might get mad for a little bit, but then they'll know, like, she just asked because she wanted to make sure I was okay.
yeah, it really does depend on their friend dynamic, because like if it was me and you, if you're worried, you could disguise it as a joke, be like, get that coin, girl, on OnlyFans, like act like you're proud, trying to get more information, but really you're worried. So it just all depends on their friendship. But it sounds, based on this letter, like they have a very wholesome, like nice girl. Yeah. Situation.
Yeah. So I definitely inquire and like feel it out, see what her energy is, see what, you know, does she seem embarrassed? Does she seem nervous? Does she seem when she talks about it?
Yeah.
And let's hope it's not something like that going on.
And then the flip side is, let's say she admits it and then she's like, oh, don't tell my boyfriend, don't tell my boyfriend. You don't want her to get in trouble with this deadbeat.
Well, don't tell the deadbeat, or tell him so he leaves her or something.
Well, as long as he's not violent.
Right,
Oof.
exactly. So yeah, don't get involved in their relationship, but you should make sure she's safe and okay.
Yeah. Boy, this did take now I'm thinking of Bruce Mcarthur again and the bodies and the planters in Toronto.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday.
Oh my God. This was our Christmas episode, Jenna.
Jingle, jangle, dangle, dangle.
We got to talk about something Christmassy. Quick. What are you making? Are you baking any Christmas stuff?
No, because our Christmas dinners are so funny. I was talking to my trainer today and he was like, so what are your plans for Christmas dinner? What are you going to be eating? And I said, actually, you know, we don't do the big turkey dinner. We're going to make chow mein, sweet and sour ribs, and we have a Caesar salad. And that's kind of like our traditional Christmas dinner. And he looks at me and goes like, but wait, you're Japanese, right? Because chow mein and sweet and sour is all Chinese. I'm like, yes, I know. It's all very, very, very confusing. But yeah, that's what we're going to make. And well, my dad will make a dessert. And yeah. In BC, you're not allowed to go to your family's houses. So it'll be the three of us.
Well, you know, it's a weird year and I feel like there's no rules. I don't even have a tree up. Like, I saw my Halloween decorations up. It's just a weird year. So
got to start jingling those balls.
I wish I had somebody to do it for me.
When in doubt, you can always jingle them on your own. Apparently everyone's doing it during COVID.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, go listen to our last podcast.
Jingle jangle, bitches. Jingle jangle.
Cheers, you naughty girl.
Cheers. I'll see you soon.
Woo! Yeah, next time we'll be together again. Cheers. Merry Christmas.
Watch us on YouTube. Bye.